Now, my third pick, Denver Broncos plus 2.5. Taking on the Green Bay Packers, this is going to be a big game. Obviously, we were on the Broncos last week. Tough loss with that just totally unprofessional play by Brett Jones to try to delay the pick or Lockett from getting up with only 5 seconds left. They weren't going to be able to snap the ball. There was no chance they were going to get another playoff had he just allowed it to play out the way it was going to play out. Instead, ref throws the flag. It was the right call. Was it necessary? Probably not, but it wasn't necessary for Jones to go up and jump on him and slap the ball out of his hands either. So, I mean, you just got to be smarter than that. But, of course, Pete Carroll marches out his field goal kicker down 10 with 4 seconds remaining, kicks the field goal, and we lose by half a point. But we also won the Packers game. We were on the Packers minus 6.5. We won that one by half a point. So it goes both ways. But just a tough spot. But now the Broncos at home taking on the Packers. Packers off that big divisional win, moved to first place in their division in the AFC or NFC North over the Chicago Bears, and moved the Bears from being number 2 all the way down to number 7 in the playoff rankings. I mean, boy, as good as their season's been, there's a scenario where the Bears don't even make the playoffs now. If Detroit, Carolina, and even Dallas now with an outdoor or a backdoor chance to make the playoffs, is these last few games are going to really matter. But I like this Broncos team. They're on a 10-game winning streak. And I think that they're going to continue that one. Bo Nix, good at not taking sacks, good at getting himself out of trouble. The offensive line, I think they'll be able to run the ball against Green Bay. This might be a flat spot for Green Bay in a non-conference game after that huge win over Chicago, knowing they've got to play Chicago again coming up here soon. I think the secondary for the Broncos will be able to minimize the passing game for the Packers. Josh Jacobs is going to be out for this game, so they're not going to have their bell cow running back for this one. So that could certainly change the dynamics of this game. And we know that the pass rush for the Broncos can really get pressure on the quarterback without blitzing. And Jordan Love is really good when he has a clean pocket, but when he's under pressure and he's under duress, he seems to struggle a little bit more than he, does when he's not under pressure, which, obviously that's typical quarterbacks, but some quarterbacks can handle the blitz and can handle pressure. I think with the way that they can get pressure, the Broncos, without having to blitz, it's really going to limit the passing offense for the Packers. I think the special teams for the Broncos could certainly come into play here, as Green Bay always seems to struggle on special teams. I know this is the time of the year when Jordan Love tends to play better against the spread. They call it the Toyota-thon. Whenever the Toyota-thon for Christmas starts, that's when the Green Bay Packers seem to play their best. But the Packers over their history have not played well in Denver. Traveling to Denver 8 times, the Packers are just 1-7 straight up in those games, playing in Denver. So something about playing a mile high, it's just it doesn't bode well for this Packers team. And as a home favorite, Bo Nix is 8-3 against the spread, but as a home dog, he's only 1-2 against the spread. So, tough. But they have won 3 consecutive games outright as underdogs. So they seem to play up when they're considered an underdog. It's only 2.5. It is that fishy minus 2.5 line. So, a lot of people will want to take the minus 2.5 with the Packers, believing that this is going to be the game that the Broncos finally lose their this 10-game win streak they've been on. But the Green Bay Packers are not good in the first half. The Packers are 10-3 to the first half under this season, tied with the Chiefs and the Vikings. So they're just not putting up a lot of points in the first half of these games. And the Broncos, if they can get out to a lead and make them play from behind, get this pass rush going, and change the dynamic of the game script for the Packers, they could certainly cause some turnovers. Now the penalties got to stop. The penalties have to stop for the Broncos. They cannot continue to have 10, 12 penalties a game and expect to be a contender come playoff time. It's just not feasible because you're not going to win games against quality teams in the playoffs if you continue to commit penalties. So they really need to step it up. Obviously, they need to learn how to finish games. They were leading 24-7 against the Raiders in that game before they gave up a touchdown to Kenny Pickett and then that ridiculous field goal at the end of the game. But I'm just going to go with the Broncos here. I think the Packers are going to be a very popular side with it only being -2.5. But they're on the road in Denver, a place where the Packers historically have not played well. And I just think the offensive line for Denver, the fact that Bo Nix does not take sacks, will keep them in drives. I think they'll be able to run the ball. Missing Josh Jacobs for the Green Bay Packers could be a big deal, as they've already lost their key tight end earlier in the year who was contributing quite a bit to their passing game. I know Watson has really stepped up in his return. They got Reed back, but I just think this DBs for the Denver Broncos, this secondary, is one of the better secondaries in the NFL, and I think they're going to have some answers for this Green Bay team. So give me the Broncos +2.5 as my third pick in Week 15.